True power comes not from avoiding darkness, but from embracing it. Machiavelli's teachings emphasize the need to cultivate a mindset that thrives in adversity, one that doesn't recoil at fear, hardship, or suffering, but welcomes them as opportunities to grow stronger. The dangerous thinker understands that to become truly untouchable, you must first confront the darkness within yourself. Doubt, weakness, and hesitation are the byproducts of avoiding your true nature, the nature that thrives in discomfort and challenges. The first mindset shift is that you must stop fearing the darkness. Doubt often arises when we fear the unknown or the uncomfortable, but the untouchable person knows that true power lies in embracing the unknown and the uncomfortable. Darkness is not to be feared, it is to be used. Pain, rejection, failure, and hardship, these are not setbacks. They are the building blocks of resilience. By embracing the darkness, you eliminate the doubt that comes from fearing what's to come. You are not afraid of the pain, but you see it as a tool to sharpen your will and your strength. The second brutal truth is that you must cultivate emotional detachment. Doubt is often born from emotional turbulence, from reacting impulsively to insults, setbacks, or negative events. The dangerous thinker knows that power is not in reaction, but in action. They detach themselves emotionally from situations and events, understanding that emotions are the weakest form of influence. By learning emotional detachment, you make yourself unbreakable. Pain cannot control you if you do not allow your emotions to control your actions. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means control, and with control, you can turn any situation to your advantage, removing doubt from your mind. The third mindset shift is that you must embrace calculated ruthlessness. Doubt thrives in kindness and indecision. The untouchable person does not hesitate to act with ruthless precision when needed. They know that success in a hostile world requires a sharp edge, one that does not falter at ethical dilemmas or emotional appeals. Ruthlessness is not about being cruel, it is about being decisive and strategic, and embracing that ruthlessness eliminates any doubts about your ability to lead and dominate. You are willing to do what others will not, and this willingness sets you apart, fortifying your mind against uncertainty and weakness. The fourth brutal truth is that you must stop seeking validation. Doubt emerges when you are dependent on the opinions of others, when you feel insecure or unsure of your place in the world. The dangerous thinker understands that true power comes from within, and they no longer seek approval or confirmation from anyone else. They are anchored in their own sense of worth, knowing that their value is not determined by others' opinions. When you stop seeking validation, you become free, and that freedom eliminates any doubt about your worth or your potential. The fifth rule is that you must embrace the fact that power is taken, not given. Doubt arises when you expect to be given opportunities, respect, or power, waiting for others to recognize your value or open doors for you. The untouchable person knows that power does not come from waiting. It comes from taking what you deserve. You seize opportunities, create your own path, and force others to recognize your strength and worth. By actively taking power instead of waiting for it, you destroy the doubt that comes from feeling overlooked or powerless. You know that you create your own destiny, and nothing can stand in your way. Number 2, harness the power of unwavering focus and relentless discipline. Doubt thrives in distractions, in moments of weakness where you allow your attention to waver or your discipline to slip. The dangerous thinker knows that focus is the key to mastering power. Machiavelli's teachings reveal that those who control their focus can dominate any situation, while those who lack focus remain at the mercy of their emotions, impulses, and external forces. To become untouchable, you must master your mind, sharpening it like a weapon and using it to cut through chaos. This means not only focusing on your goals, but training your mind to block out anything that could weaken your resolve. The first mindset shift is that you must cultivate the discipline to focus on your ultimate vision. Doubt arises when you are scattered, pulled in multiple directions by immediate gratification, distractions, or external pressures. The untouchable person knows that real power comes from the ability to keep their focus on their long-term vision, no matter the short-term obstacles or temptations. Painful moments will arise, and so will distractions. But the dangerous thinker channels their energy into their ultimate mission. This unwavering focus keeps them on track and ensures that doubt has no place in their path. By developing relentless discipline, you ensure that every action you take moves you closer to your goal. The second brutal truth is that you must train your mind to ignore the noise of the world. Doubt often comes from the noise around you, the opinions of others, the judgments, the constant chatter that can cloud your judgment. The untouchable person understands that in order to succeed, they must silence the noise of the world. This does not mean ignoring valuable advice, but it does mean tuning out the distractions and focusing only on what serves your mission. Pain and adversity will teach you to block out anything that does not align with your purpose, allowing you to act with clear vision and absolute certainty. By mastering the ability to focus in the midst of chaos, you eliminate doubt because you will no longer be swayed by the opinions or distractions of others. The third rule is that you must embrace discomfort as part of the process. Doubt often arises when we seek comfort, when we expect our journey to be smooth and free from obstacles. The dangerous thinker understands that comfort is a killer of power. Pain and discomfort are part of the path to mastery, and the untouchable person welcomes these challenges as opportunities to sharpen their will and focus. They understand that real power is forged in the fire of adversity, and that discomfort is a necessary part of growth. By embracing discomfort, you eliminate doubt about your ability to endure the tough times because you know that the process itself strengthens you. The fourth brutal truth is that you must use your focus to turn adversity into opportunity. Doubt often arises when things aren't going your way, when failure or setbacks threaten to derail your plans. The dangerous thinker, however, sees adversity as a sign that they are on the right path. They use adversity as a way to sharpen their focus, to reassess their approach and adapt to the challenges at hand. Where others see failure, they see lessons to learn and opportunities to exploit. By using focus to turn adversity into advantage, you eliminate doubt because you are constantly growing, adjusting, and evolving, making each setback a step toward your ultimate goal. The fifth rule is that you must build an unshakable routine. Doubt arises when we lack consistency, when we abandon our principles or fail to build habits that support our goals. The untouchable person knows that consistency is the backbone of mastery. They build a routine that reinforces their commitment to their vision, no matter what challenges arise. Pain and hardship are inevitable, but a strong, disciplined routine ensures that your actions stay aligned with your purpose, even when the going gets tough. By building a routine that strengthens your resolve and commitment, you eliminate doubt because your actions are automatic, habitual, and unstoppable. The sixth brutal truth is that you must embrace the darkness within to fuel your discipline. Doubt often emerges from our attempts to suppress our inner darkness, to avoid the uncomfortable truths about who we are. The dangerous thinker embraces their shadow, acknowledging the darker aspects of their personality and using them as sources of strength. Machiavelli teaches that power comes from mastering the entirety of yourself, including the parts of you that are often rejected or feared. By embracing your darkness, you turn it into fuel for your discipline, using it to maintain unwavering focus and dedication to your mission. This acceptance of your inner complexity eliminates doubt because you have fully integrated all aspects of yourself into your pursuit of power. The seventh rule is that you must be prepared to act swiftly and decisively. Doubt flourishes in indecision when you hesitate or procrastinate, unsure of which move to make next. The untouchable person, however, has trained themselves to act swiftly, especially in moments of pain or pressure. They understand that hesitation is a sign of weakness and that power comes from making decisions with confidence, no matter how difficult they may seem. Pain teaches the dangerous thinker to make decisions under duress, sharpening their ability to act decisively and with authority. By mastering the art of swift and decisive action, you eliminate doubt because your ability to act in the heat of the moment sets you apart from those who falter. Number 3, embrace ruthlessness and use it to command respect, to be untouchable. You must understand that ruthlessness is not cruelty. It is the ability to make decisions that serve your ultimate goal, no matter the cost. Doubt creeps in when we hesitate, when we worry about the impact of our decisions on others. The dangerous thinker, however, knows that power is reserved for those who make decisions without hesitation, without fear, and without sentimentality. Machiavelli's timeless wisdom emphasizes that those who play by the rules set by others are doomed to remain weak, while those who bend the rules to their advantage become unstoppable. Ruthlessness is the weapon you wield to eliminate doubt because you refuse to let anything, emotion, external opinion, or fear, stand in the way of your pursuit of power. The first rule is that ruthlessness allows you to make cold, calculated decisions. Doubt thrives when we allow our emotions to cloud our judgment, when we let fear, guilt, or compassion influence our actions. The untouchable person knows that making the right decision often requires detaching from emotions and acting with strategic precision. Ruthlessness allows you to view situations objectively, stripping away personal attachments and focusing solely on what will move you closer to your goal. By practicing calculated ruthlessness, you eliminate doubt because you trust that every decision you make is the right one to achieve your vision. Pain becomes secondary to your mission, and every action taken serves that purpose. The second brutal truth is that ruthlessness is the key to establishing dominance. Doubt is often the result of indecision, when you lack the confidence to make bold moves or assert your authority. The dangerous thinker understands that dominance is established by actions, not words, and that to command respect, you must be willing to make the hard decisions that others are too afraid to make. Ruthlessness is about taking control of situations with a cold, relentless approach. By using ruthlessness to assert dominance, you eliminate doubt because you show others that your resolve is unbreakable. You make decisions that bend the world to your will, and others will follow your lead because they understand that resistance is futile. The third rule is that ruthlessness builds psychological strength. Doubt often arises when we are afraid of the consequences of our decisions, when we worry about how others will perceive us or how we might feel afterward. The untouchable person, however, knows that true strength comes from the ability to act without fear of emotional fallout. Ruthlessness teaches you to block out the psychological effects of difficult decisions and to act with a singular focus on the outcome. By embracing ruthlessness, you eliminate doubt because you learn that emotions, whether regret, guilt, or empathy, do not dictate your path. Your psychological fortitude becomes an unbreakable shield against any emotional obstacles. The fourth brutal truth is that ruthlessness gives you the courage to eliminate threats before they can harm you. Doubt often arises when we hesitate to confront challenges or potential threats. The dangerous thinker, however, uses ruthlessness to eliminate threats early, whether those threats come in the form of people, circumstances, or internal fears. By taking swift action to eliminate anything that stands in the way of your goals, you show the world that you are someone who cannot be stopped. Ruthlessness forces you to act swiftly and decisively, leaving no room for doubt. Every potential threat is neutralized before it has a chance to hinder your progress, and this proactive approach establishes you as a force to be reckoned with. The fifth rule is that ruthlessness ensures you never hesitate in the face of opportunity. Doubt often arises when opportunities present themselves, but we hesitate or question whether we should take action. The untouchable person, however, knows that the greatest opportunities are often fleeting and that timing is everything. Ruthlessness gives you the courage to act immediately when the opportunity arises without overthinking or doubting yourself. By seizing opportunities with ruthless speed, you eliminate doubt because you know that success favors the bold. Your willingness to take immediate action makes you a force of nature, and doubt cannot find a place in someone who acts decisively. The sixth brutal truth is that ruthlessness strengthens your influence over others. Doubt thrives when you lack control over those around you, when you feel insecure in your ability to persuade, lead, or manipulate others. The dangerous thinker, however, knows that ruthlessness is the key to maintaining power over others, ensuring that they follow your will without question. Ruthlessness allows you to manipulate situations and people to ensure that you remain in control. By becoming ruthless in your approach to relationships and influence, you eliminate doubt because you understand that people only respect those who take decisive action and refuse to show weakness. Your ability to dominate the environment around you becomes an undeniable power, and others will recognize your authority. The seventh rule is that ruthlessness teaches you to always put yourself first. Doubt arises when we prioritize others' needs or desires over our own, when we sacrifice our own well-being for the sake of others. The untouchable person, however, understands that true power comes from putting themselves first, even if it means making difficult or unpopular decisions. Ruthlessness teaches you that your goals must always come before anyone else's, and that you must be willing to sacrifice others to achieve your vision. By making yourself the priority, you eliminate doubt because you demonstrate that nothing will stand in the way of your pursuit of power and success. Your commitment to your own goals is unwavering, and this absolute dedication to self-empowerment makes you untouchable. Number 4. Master the art of manipulation and use it for strategic control. Doubt thrives in uncertainty. when you cannot predict the reactions of others, or when you fail to control the situation around you. The dangerous thinker understands that power is not given, it is taken, and one of the most powerful tools for taking control is the art of manipulation. Machiavelli teaches that those who master the art of influence and manipulation hold the keys to power. Manipulation, when wielded strategically, is a means of bending others to your will without them even realizing it. The untouchable person knows that manipulating the perceptions and actions of others is not a sign of weakness, but a demonstration of supreme control. By mastering manipulation, you eliminate doubt because you understand that power lies in shaping the world around you and bending it to your vision. The first rule is that manipulation begins with understanding others' needs and desires. Doubt often arises when we fail to understand the people around us, when we overlook their motivations, fears, and insecurities. The dangerous thinker knows that in order to manipulate effectively, you must first understand what drives people. Every person has hidden desires, whether it is the need for validation, attention, security, or control. Once you understand these desires, you can use them to your advantage. By mastering the art of understanding people's motivations, you eliminate doubt because you know exactly how to influence their actions. Manipulation becomes second nature when you can read people like an open book. The second brutal truth is that manipulation thrives on creating an illusion of choice. Doubt creeps in when you fail to provide clarity, when you leave others uncertain about their path. The untouchable person, however, knows that by presenting others with an illusion of choice, they can guide them toward the outcome they desire without them even realizing it. Manipulation is about controlling the options available to others, making them think they have a choice when, in reality, you have already orchestrated the scenario. By creating this illusion, you eliminate doubt because you control the narrative and outcomes, even when others think they are in control. The third rule is that manipulation requires emotional detachment. Doubt arises when emotions cloud our judgment, when we become attached to outcomes or the reactions of others. The dangerous thinker understands that emotional detachment is the key to manipulating others without being swayed by their emotions. By removing emotional attachment, you can see situations clearly, without allowing personal biases or feelings to influence your decisions. Emotional detachment gives you the clarity to act strategically, and it allows you to manipulate situations without hesitation. By mastering emotional detachment, you eliminate doubt about your ability to remain in control and execute your plans. The fourth brutal truth is that manipulation requires patience and timing. Doubt thrives when we act impulsively, when we rush into decisions without considering the long-term consequences. The untouchable person knows that manipulation is most effective when it is slow, deliberate, and subtle. The key is patience, waiting for the right moment to make your move. Timing is everything, and manipulation loses its power if rushed or forced. By learning to act at the perfect moment, you eliminate doubt because you show yourself and others that you are always in control of your actions. Patience and timing are your allies, and they ensure that your influence is exerted at the optimal moment, securing your success. The fifth rule is that manipulation thrives on controlling the narrative. Doubt arises when you let others define the story, when you fail to control the message or shape perceptions. The dangerous thinker knows that control over perception is one of the most potent forms of power. By manipulating the narrative, you control how others perceive reality. Whether it's through words, actions, or silence, you shape how people see you and the situation. By controlling the narrative, you eliminate doubt because you know that perception is reality, and you have the power to create the reality you want. Manipulation is the art of shaping what others believe to be true. The sixth brutal truth is that manipulation is about using silence and subtlety. Doubt often arises when we speak too much, when we reveal our hand too soon, or when we share too much information. The untouchable person, however, knows that silence is a powerful tool. By speaking less and revealing little, you create mystery, and mystery makes people uneasy. They feel they don't have all the information, and this discomfort makes them more likely to do what you want. Subtlety is the weapon of the manipulator, and using silence wisely ensures that you control the pace of the situation and leave others guessing about your true intentions. By mastering silence, you eliminate doubt because you make it difficult for others to figure you out or predict your next move. The seventh rule is that manipulation requires flexibility and adaptability. Doubt arises when we are rigid, when we refuse to change our approach, or when we fail to adapt to new information. The dangerous thinker knows that manipulation requires fluidity, the ability to shift strategies based on circumstances. You are not married to one approach. You are always ready to pivot, to try a new tactic, and to adapt your actions to achieve your desired outcome. By being adaptable, you eliminate doubt because you are unpredictable and people cannot anticipate your moves. Your ability to adjust to new situations makes you an effective manipulator, and this flexibility gives you the upper hand in every situation. Number 5, embrace the power of detachment and total self-mastery. To be untouchable, you must first master yourself, and that begins with detachment. Doubt often arises from emotional reactions, from being too attached to outcomes, people, or situations. Machiavelli understood that those who allow their emotions to control them will always be vulnerable, while those who can detach from their emotions and from the external world become immovable. The dangerous thinker does not rely on external forces to dictate their actions. They practice self-mastery by detaching from the distractions and reactions that cloud judgment, and in doing so, they create an unshakable inner fortress. Doubt disappears when you can control your emotions, your desires, and your impulses, because once you master yourself, nothing in the world can defeat you. The first mindset shift is that you must detach from the need for approval. Doubt flourishes when we depend on others' opinions, when we seek validation or constantly worry about how we are perceived. The untouchable person, however, understands that their worth is not determined by external validation, but by their own standards. They learn to detach from the need to please others, from the need for approval, and from the approval of society. This detachment gives them the power to move forward unburdened by the need for reassurance, and eliminates the doubt that holds others back. By mastering self-validation, you become immune to the opinions of others, and this freedom from validation strengthens your inner resolve. The second brutal truth is that you must detach from your past mistakes. Doubt often arises when we are burdened by the weight of our past failures, when we allow our past to define our future. The dangerous thinker knows that to move forward, they must learn from their past, but not let it dictate their actions. Painful experiences, mistakes, and failures are not chains. They are lessons. The untouchable person learns to detach from the emotional baggage of their past and to use it as a stepping stone for growth. By releasing the grip of past mistakes, you eliminate the doubt that comes from worrying about what went wrong before. You become free to act decisively and without hesitation, because your past no longer holds power over you. The third rule is that you must detach from the outcome. Doubt is a result of attachment to specific outcomes, to a need for things to unfold a certain way. The dangerous thinker understands that while they may have goals and desires, they must detach from the need for those outcomes to happen immediately or in the exact form they envision. Pain teaches the untouchable person that they cannot control everything, and that detaching from the outcome allows them to remain calm and adaptable, even when things don't go according to plan. By embracing detachment from outcomes, you eliminate doubt because you understand that you are in control of the process, not the results. The results will come, but only after you've mastered the process and learned to act without emotional investment in the outcome. The fourth brutal truth is that you must detach from emotional entanglements. Doubt often arises when we become emotionally entangled in relationships, situations, or desires. When we allow ourselves to be too dependent on others for validation, love, or support. The dangerous thinker knows that true power comes from emotional independence, from detaching from the need for external sources of affirmation. Whether it's people or situations that drain your energy, you must learn to detach from them and refuse to let emotions cloud your judgment. By mastering the art of emotional detachment, you eliminate doubt because you stop reacting to external forces. You control your emotional state, and that control allows you to make decisions based on logic and strategy, not feelings. The fifth rule is that you must detach from fear of failure. Doubt often arises from the fear of failing, the belief that failure will lead to irreparable loss or humiliation. The untouchable person, however, understands that failure is simply part of the process. They detach from the fear of failure because they know that failure is not the end. It is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. Pain teaches them that failure is not something to be feared, but embraced. By detaching from the fear of failure, you eliminate doubt because you see failure as part of the journey to success. You are not afraid to fall because you know that you can always get back up, stronger and more focused than before. The sixth brutal truth is that you must detach from the need for comfort. Doubt thrives when you seek comfort and avoid discomfort, when you settle into routines and expect life to be easy. The dangerous thinker understands that power is built in discomfort, that true growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone. Pain teaches you that comfort is a trap, a false sense of security that prevents you from reaching your full potential. By detaching from the need for comfort, you eliminate doubt because you know that discomfort is where real growth happens. You seek out challenges because you understand that the more discomfort you endure, the stronger and more powerful you become. The seventh rule is that you must detach from the approval of others. Doubt often arises when you live for the approval of others, when you seek to please everyone around you. The untouchable person understands that true power comes from living according to their own values, not the values of others. They learn to detach from the need for others' approval and instead live for themselves. By detaching from the need to please others, you eliminate doubt because you become stronger in your own identity, free from the constraints of seeking validation. You live with conviction, and others begin to respect and admire you for the strength and consistency you show in your actions. Number 6. Use pain as a source of unstoppable drive and relentless persistence. The dangerous thinker understands that pain is not a weakness to be avoided, but a powerful catalyst for growth. Machiavelli's wisdom reveals that true power arises when you learn to leverage pain, suffering, and hardship as fuel for unstoppable drive. Pain is the crucible in which strength, willpower, and perseverance are forged. The untouchable person does not crumble under the weight of adversity. Instead, they use it to drive them further, pushing past the limits of what others believe is possible. Doubt is annihilated when you embrace pain as a necessary force for your evolution. Because once you learn to channel pain, it becomes a tool for unrelenting persistence and unshakable determination. The first mindset shift is that pain is a reminder that you are on the right path. Doubt often arises when things get difficult, when you feel the weight of challenges pressing down on you. The dangerous thinker, however, knows that pain is an indicator that they are pushing themselves to the limits. Pain is the proof that you are striving for something greater, something beyond the ordinary, and that you are testing your capacity to grow. Instead of seeing pain as a setback, they view it as a sign of progress, a confirmation that they are expanding their limits. By embracing pain as a natural part of growth, you eliminate doubt because you understand that challenges are part of the journey to mastery. The second brutal truth is that pain strengthens your resolve. Doubt often comes from uncertainty, from the fear that we might not be able to withstand what lies ahead. The untouchable person uses pain to build their resolve, the unwavering determination to keep going no matter how difficult the journey becomes. Each painful experience forces them to dig deeper, and with each challenge overcome, their resolve becomes unbreakable. Pain hardens the mind. It makes you stronger and more focused because you understand that the strongest minds are forged in the crucible of suffering. By turning pain into fuel for greater resolve, you eliminate doubt because your persistence becomes an unstoppable force. The third rule is that pain teaches you to thrive in adversity. Doubt arises when we are overwhelmed by difficulties, when we feel that challenges are insurmountable. The dangerous thinker, however, understands that adversity is the environment in which they excel. Pain teaches them how to not just survive, but thrive in the face of hardship. They do not shrink back from adversity. They step forward with confidence, knowing that they have the tools to overcome it. Pain helps you develop the resilience to handle anything that comes your way. And by embracing this resilience, you eliminate doubt because you know that nothing will break your spirit or derail your path. Adversity becomes your arena for mastery. The fourth brutal truth is that pain forces you to develop strategic patience. Doubt often arises when we expect immediate results, when we grow frustrated by the slow pace of progress. Pain teaches the dangerous thinker that real success takes time. Pain forces them to develop the patience required to play the long game, to accept that mastery comes only after consistent effort, and that there are no shortcuts to true power. By using pain as a teacher of patience, you eliminate doubt because you learn to trust the process and remain committed to your long-term goals, no matter how long it takes to achieve them. Strategic patience is a weapon, and those who master it wield an unbreakable power. The fifth rule is that pain builds unshakable mental toughness. Doubt thrives in the presence of mental weakness, when we lack the resilience to push through challenges. The untouchable person builds their mental toughness through pain, using every struggle as an opportunity to become more focused, more disciplined, and more strategic. Pain is the workout for the mind, and each painful experience strengthens your ability to remain calm, clear-headed, and decisive. By conditioning your mind to thrive under pressure, you eliminate doubt because your mental fortitude becomes your greatest asset. Pain makes you unbreakable, and nothing, no challenge, no obstacle, can break your focus or determination. The sixth brutal truth is that pain forces you to refine your purpose. Doubt often arises when we feel lost or unclear about our mission, when we question whether our efforts are worth it. Pain, however, forces you to define your purpose with greater clarity. The dangerous thinker knows that purpose is born in the fire of suffering, and that it is in these moments of hardship that you refine and strengthen your mission. Pain drives you to evaluate what truly matters to you and forces you to recommit to your purpose with unwavering focus. By using pain to clarify your vision and purpose, you eliminate doubt because you are no longer wandering aimlessly. You are on a clear and decisive path, driven by the certainty of your goals. The seventh rule is that pain gives you the ability to be relentless. Doubt often arises when we feel the urge to quit, when we believe we've done enough, or when we think the task is too overwhelming. The untouchable person uses pain to push past these feelings of weakness. Pain teaches them that the moment they feel like quitting is the moment they must press harder. That relentless effort is the key to success. Pain becomes a challenge to overcome, and every time they move forward despite it, they reinforce their relentless drive. By embracing this relentless mindset, you eliminate doubt because nothing can stop you. You become unstoppable in the pursuit of your goals, knowing that every challenge is just another step toward your ultimate success.